Okay, this video is going to cover exponents, and all an exponent is, it means repeated multiplication. So here we have 3 to the 5th power. 3 is called the base, 5 is called the exponent or the power. So what that means is that there are 5 3's all multiplied together. So instead of writing it this way, it's written with an exponent. Well, a couple things to remember here is some special cases. 10 to the 1st power is 10. 10 to the 0 power is 1. Anything to the 0 power is 1. Having said that, you have to be careful when you have something like this, 3x to the 0 power. The x is to the 0 power, the 3 is not. So what it means is 3 times our x to the 0 power. So it's 3 times 1, or 3. Another thing to remember is when you have negatives. So if we have in parentheses -4 squared, that means it's -4 times -4, which equals +16. -4 squared, no parentheses, is equivalent to -1 times 4 times 4. So here you see one negative, and we're multiplying, so that's an odd number, so the answer is a -16. Next, we will cover the order of operations, and the acronym for it is Please Excuse My Dear Aunt Sally. I don't know what she did, but must have been bad. So the P is the parentheses, the E is the exponent. M and D stand for multiplication and division as a pair. So you actually could have the division before the multiplication. And lastly, it's addition and subtraction as a pair. So again, you could have the subtraction before the addition if that's all you have left. Now, moving on, we'll take that order of operations and look at a couple problems. So 5 to the 3rd power plus 2 times the quantity -8, -6 equals, we'll do the exponent first. So our 5 to the 3rd power will become 125 plus 2 times our quantity. So the next step is to take care of our quantity. So that'd be 125 plus 2 times, in parentheses, -14. The -8 and the -6 combine to make -14. The next step is then to multiply this. So we have 125 minus 28 for our final answer of 97. Next one, a little more complicated. -4, and we're involving a bracket. So 2 plus 3 times the quantity 4 minus 8 squared. And the last thing is the -2. So we do the exponent first. So that takes us to -4 times the bracket 2 plus 3 times 4 minus 64. And a bracket, -2. The next is to combine these two. So -4 bracket 2 plus 3 times -60. So now we're going to take the +3 times the -60. -4 bracket 2 minus 180. And then the last thing is this -2. Now we have -4. We combine these. the 2 and the negative 80, we have negative 4 times negative 178. And again, lastly, you subtract the 2. So a negative 4 times a negative 178 gives you 712. And then the negative 2 for our final answer of 710. And the last one we'll have is a fraction. So we have negative 3 times the quantity of 3 plus 2 plus 5 over 17 minus 3 times a negative 4. So we do the parentheses first. Negative 3 times the quantity of 3 plus 2 becomes 5 plus 5. Here, 17, and then we'll have a negative 3 times a negative 4 would make a positive 12. So now we finish up on the parentheses. Negative 3 times the 5 is negative 15 plus 5. 17 and 12 are 29. And then we combine these on the numerator for negative 10 over 29. Next one we're going to do with absolute value. Remember, the absolute value is the distance a number is from 0 on the number line. And we'll get into that a little bit more later. So we have 10 times the absolute value of 9 minus 15 minus 2 to the 5th. So we can do the absolute value first. So we have 10 times a negative 6. We combine these two, and then our negative 2 to the 5th power is negative 32. So when the negative 6 comes out of the absolute value, it becomes a positive 6, because a negative 6 is 6 units from 0, as well as a positive 6. So we have 10 times 6, 60 minus the 32 is 28. And that wraps up 1.7.